Hey everyone, we are back, this time to play Battle Circuit, a classic arcade game by Capcom. And by we, I mean with me as always is Corey. Say hi, Corey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Alright, so let's get into the game.
hmm
And you should be able to press start. Yep, there you go. I guess I'll just start with the most generic guy.
I'll
And
start with the only other guy, the semi-normal looking guy.
yeah, who ironically is a shapeshifter. But
Yeah.
Yep, so I'm sure we've never played this game before, so we'll probably die quite often, and that'll give us a chance to cycle through all the characters. There's a pretty big cast of selectable characters.
Yeah, definitely.
I should have done some research before we played to check like a move list or anything. I do know there are some special moves, namely down, up, quickly with attack will do a cool kind of power move.
Okay.
We already have a limit time? What's going on with that? Oh yeah, one important thing, Corey. I did discover that when you beat the enemies as you saw, the coins come out, and there's other coins you can collect. And at the end of specific sections or levels, I guess, you can actually spend that money buying new moves to add to your character's arsenal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I played maybe about a level's worth, and I did notice that. I didn't
Mhm.
understand, like, what I was doing with it. Like,
Right.
it's just kind of text-based, so you don't really know what you're buying, I guess, a
Yeah.
little bit. I think it shows a little bit of visuals. I can't
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah, I
but
think it
yeah.
does. I think it does. But yeah, obviously, until you really see it in action, you won't know exactly what its value will be. But
Right,
it
yeah.
is a cool idea to go with this kind of game show, futuristic game show motif, kind of like Running Man or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, so
Yeah,
this
I don't
guy's telling
think.
us there's ways to earn money, and you could buy upgrades basically.
Yeah, we've played the other games on this bundle, and I think this is the only one that has that sort of unique
Yep,
gimmick of the buying
definitely.
moves or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, in general, this is the most outside the box, so to speak. Here we go. So you can hyper tornado. Oh, that looks like a nice one. Did I buy it? It went right to exit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the X button buys it,
Yep.
which is
Yep.
attack button. Yeah. It's just like suitcases of money.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can do like a dash.
Yep.
The neat thing here is you can just kind of keep going in different directions when you dash.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think this is the last game that Corey and I chose to play. Like we've played all the other ones in this bundle. This is the last one, and I think it's just something about the screenshots and the art style attracted us the least out of all the other games. Which
Right.
isn't to say this is a bad looking game. It's certainly up to the typical Capcom standards of the day. But this definitely has the most kind of outlandish, cartoony kind of thing going on.
Right,
And like
absolutely.
weird character design and stuff for the selectable characters. I should also mention for anyone tuning into our channel for the first time, Corey and I are both professional pixel artists, have been for a very long time, and are also independent game developers working on our own game projects in this retro 16-bit style, like arcade and console action games, and so we'll almost certainly over the course of this gameplay be talking about some of the aspects of game design and graphic design.
Yeah,
And that is definitely something I do appreciate of this game, is they did a good job, even though it's a very bright game. They did a great job with the environments, making the contrast lower in large areas of one color family and one general value. Like this floor is mostly medium tone blue, so
yeah.
it just gives you a better chance for the important things like the character sprites and things you can grab and enemies really show well. Of course, as soon as I started saying that there's this level with a really loud floor,
Yeah, the floor is
Yep.
is pretty punchy. I
Yes.
do appreciate with the characters in the background.
Yeah.
They're a little bit muted and
Blued out,
stuff.
yeah,
You know?
very nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they fit well and they look a little different. So they feel
Yeah.
like they belong there. Yeah.
And distant, so they're not like fighting for your attention with the foreground colors. You can't mistake them for an enemy you need to fight. Like
Right.
even these ones on the edge there. So that aspect is good. I do wish this floor were a little less loud, but
Well, I think that pretty much describes the entire game. Uh,
yeah. But yeah, the
I
game.
mean, we're fighting Elvis, I guess.
Yeah, that
here,
is true.
so-
Wait, is it safe to directly call him Elvis? We don't want to get Capcom in trouble. What was the
maybe
character in
maybe
Clay
his
Fighter?
Evil twin brothers. Something,
Yeah, exactly. We could just call him Pelvis. That's what they
Right,
used to
yeah.
call Elvis.
Oh, it does have the names up there. So his name, I guess his name
Oh,
is
right.
Johnny. Yeah. So
I think we're detecting a little bit of lag from the online play.
yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen as much with this game, but
Yeah, with this bundle, Capcom did, in general, a great job. Even though Corey's very far across the planet from me. I'm in France, and he's in the U.S. And we've been able to play all of these games remotely like this with not much lag at all.
right, yeah, it's just a disclaimer in case
Yeah, exactly.
people notice any jittering or slowdown. Or
Yeah,
anything.
that's not the fault of the game. That's just inevitable issues with playing with such a distance between the two players.
Right. And this is just, again,
Yeah.
super weird.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
we literally fight the vehicle itself or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Select your upgrade. Okay.
Once
So
we
it is
get
the
there.
attack button, right? Yeah, see, I don't think I was able...
Yeah, and I don't know if
Okay.
it's better to. I'm gonna try to save mine or something and see. I guess I don't know. Maybe there's like superpower moves or something.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is the X button to make the purchase. I did the A, which just exited.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a new move. So that is very cool. Like if you're going for the weird game show futuristic deathmatch thing, being able to buy upgrades for a kind of cybernetic or enhanced character is pretty cool.
Nice.
And like that, the other cool thing about that is it really does add, it keeps things fresh over the course of the game, which is what we've, if you guys have seen our previous videos where we're playing beat 'em up games, like we think one of the biggest issues with the genre, even though it's my favorite genre of co-op action game, is that they can really start to get way too repetitive toward like after the first half of the game. And this allowing you to continually earn new moves for your character really helps that a lot.
Yeah. I do notice though that I think if you lose all your lives or something, it does
Oh, you would
give you that
lose?
option of character selecting, like mid-level.
Right. Yeah.
And I wonder if you're just purchasing moves for the character, or
Yeah,
for
I assume
like
so.
you as a player, or
Yeah,
how
good
that
question.
works.
Very
Like
good
like
question.
if you selected this character and I had bought moves, would he have those new moves as well?
Right.
I'm
And-
curious about that.
One question is, are the moves... Oh, you can even do that on a diagonal. Wow. Yeah, like the actual fighting mechanic of this game is quite strong.
Yeah, I think so.
But again, like look at this floor, right? It's super brightly colored, but they muted it all together with like a unifying color and like what you would call a wash in fine art painting, or like an overlay to make it all work well together and not be too distracting. And that's the
Yeah,
tasteful way to
this
do
is
it.
a very nice environment. I mean, it's got a nice backdrop. The only thing that bugs me a little bit about the environment art
Yep.
is it definitely feels a bit technically rendered.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
compared to the zaniness and cartooniness of the characters.
Yeah, for sure.
It still looks good. It's not like it's terrible or anything. Like it's still very high quality, but
Right.
it feels like if I was doing this, I would do something a little more
Out there and zany, like less traditional.
Yeah,
and
I don't
safe.
know. Like maybe it's like there's a slight clash between the character art and the environment, the
Right.
way that it's made, not the content itself. But
Yeah, you could definitely picture in these same environments less weird, cartoony characters.
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, in general,
Wow.
like look at it's just really nice use of color in the environment to be colorful, but not garish and not high contrast and not fighting for your attention. So
Right.
like I'm really liking these slightly pastelized colors and keeping the contrast low. The one thing I did dislike, aside in general, like this kind of zany cartoony style isn't my thing for character design. Like the rendering style is fine, but just the actual design. Oops, there's a way to jump. Yeah, the jump button, of course. But yeah, the one thing I disliked was there's something about the actual pixel art rendering style of some aspects of the characters that feels oddly. I don't know. I can only describe it as kind of crunchy or not really polished or almost like that same feeling of like when they 3D rendered stuff to make pixel
Yeah.
art, and it looks a little less clean and detailed than hand done pixel art usually does.
Yeah, they're like if other games just even in this bundle
Yeah.
that were probably made around the same time,
Yeah.
just the art feels way more cohesive and clean, and that is typical for Capcom. And this
Right,
one, yeah,
very
this one
clean.
feels a little dirtier. Like
Yeah.
like they were a little faster with making this, and but it's still well animated and everything.
Yeah.
So I can't fault it too much, I guess.
Yeah. It's just there's something about like that blue character I'm controlling, his shoulder pads on his idle stance. They're so undetailed and largely just that one shade of blue.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then in general, like the weird choice of the shading range and the shading of his pants. Like it's oddly high contrast, but the shadowed blue is way too vibrant, too saturated. So this might sound like really nerdy and nitpicky to people, but don't forget we're pixel artists, and like some stuff is very high contrast, and then some stuff is oddly lower contrast than it should be, and not as clean as it should be.
It's like it,
Alright, I'm gonna pick a
you
new
know,
character.
if you took one more iteration pass on it,
Yeah,
you could
clean
get
it
it like
pass.
perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Oh, I was worried for a second I wasn't going to be allowed back in. Luckily, that wasn't the case. There was just a delay before I could join in.
Interesting character.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that combination of colors is pretty rough on the eyes.
Yeah. On
I'm
this
trying to
beach, at
fight.
least, it's like
I'm trying to fight my alien squirrel creature helper here.
Yeah.
All right, run. Yeah, that was the thing I was going to say is I'm not sure. I would imagine that the kind of power-up moves you can get might be different per character.
Mhm.
And so the question is, like you had said, if you die and continue, or if you pick a new character after you die, do the moves carry over or something like that you bought?
yeah. We can
And,
test that theory.
Yeah, I'm trying to now, but I'm so new to this game. I'm having a hard time. Let's see, Whip Rush.
I'll buy whatever. It tells you how to do it. So
I can't afford anything else.
just buy that too.
But yeah, good music. Nice. I like that. I like the host guy. The portrait is
yeah.
really nice, so I really like his portrait when he's talking.
Yeah, there's I think this is one of those things where it's like it feels like so zany that it's it can get in that incohesive zone as far as the content. But one of the benefits of a game like that is you never really know what you're gonna see. Like it,
Yeah,
it kind of
exactly,
keeps
yeah.
surprising you. So yeah. Try one of these moves.
Does that squirrel creature that's always following me ever
Oh.
partake and participate in any attacks or anything?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it do anything yet, other than follow me around.
Maybe
I would hope
maybe
so.
the squirrel is what her special moves are.
Yeah, that's what
or
I'm
something.
hoping.
I don't know.
That's a great point. Oh, it wasn't that one. The both buttons at the same time.
Let's see. Okay, so I'm kind of learning my new
Yeah.
moves.
There we go. There's the move I bought. Still, the squirrel didn't do anything.
Yeah. Nice.
Be sure to pick up money when you see it, so that way if like the screen fades to black when the last guy dies, we don't miss out on the money,
Right.
since it's so important for upgrading. What does that do? Now I have a grab. Think it-
Yeah, I agree with the color palette of your character.
Whew.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah. For those who have been following our other making games videos, you might know our reference to nuclear green. How when I'm
Yeah.
programming our games and make placeholder art, that I tend to use nuclear green blobs for the placeholder art, so it's really obvious it's placeholder art. But yeah, her outfit there is kind of nuclear green, and then to make matters worse, she's got the hot pink hair.
Right. Yeah, it's that they're going for forest
Colorful,
creature
loud.
type person.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like with the squirrel edition, and she's got the claws. They could have went with something nice for the fur.
More natural, yeah.
I felt like maybe they tried that at first, and
Yeah.
it was just a little too
Blendy
like,
with the
muddy
background or something. Yeah.
And they just were like, oh, punch it up,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try this character.
Yeah. Gonna grab this money before
Call
it
that
fades away.
character.
My character really needs a pedicure.
Right.
Oh yeah, now that is a weird playable character. A
Yes.
4-rooted monster plant.
This run is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. Like you said, that's the real nice bonus of deciding to go with this kind of theme and style. Is that, okay, now I'm going to be the kid on the ostrich. Of course, it's a hot pink ostrich.
Right.
Regular colored ostriches can't fight in a
Yeah.
futuristic game show.
You gotta go full color spectrum on this.
No matter how far in the future you go, there's always barrels.
Right.
At least in Capcom's universe.
This
Oh,
is the
that's
one
really
game-
cute.
This is the one
Yep.
game where it's like it doesn't matter that they're here,
Yeah.
because everything is like out of place in this game.
I really, really liked that. Did you see that health replenish, that giant apple?
Yeah.
It didn't disappear, and it didn't break up into smaller apples like that one. Bites came out of it, and you could rapid fire and keep taking bites out of it.
Yeah.
That was really clever. I've never seen that in any other beat 'em up game, and it's a really nice way to allow both players or multiple players to
Yep.
be able to share in the health replenish. I really like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think that was our impression of this. Is like we thought, well, they just made a bunch of zany characters and it's gonna play like every other game. But
Yeah, exactly.
It is nice to see those little
Refreshing.
differences. Yeah.
The creativity doesn't just go beyond; it goes beyond the zany, weird stuff, and they actually brought some interesting tweaks to the gameplay to it, which I really appreciate. I have a feeling this is going to go from the game I thought I would like the least to one of my favorite in this bundle. It goes to show you. I've got to say, I did not give the anime series One Piece a chance for years and years because I didn't like the art style. It was like less cool and more cartoony, and some of the characters looked really weird. But then when I finally gave it a chance, I really appreciated the crazy levels of creativity and the drastic contrast, not only in how different characters look, but there's just so many characters with so many different interesting psychological attitudes and mindsets and flaws and all this stuff. It's goes to show you, even if something initially isn't to your taste, if you don't give it a try, you might be missing out on something that can really be like a breath of fresh air. And it might have a lot of great qualities that you're never going to notice because you're not looking past that initial thing where it's not, aesthetically to your taste.
Right, yeah. Well, and one of the... Even though, like, the characters are pretty weird, the playable characters, again, like, the benefit there is they do all, like, so far it seems like they all play incredibly differently, like, wildly
that's
different,
great too.
which is pretty neat, instead of them all being just similar or something, like, say, in Final Fight. I mean, there's definitely differences there, but, that's a little more preference-based, and this one's like... I don't know. It's the plant guys. Really strange. Robot.
I like how they took that typical trope of the giant-headed villain, like the mad genius, and they made his head look like a planet with craters or a moon, and he's even got like a ring of Saturn around his head. It's a nice aesthetic touch, and again, just bringing that zaniness to it and kind of taking a trope and making it unique in a fun way.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, we both died at the same time.
Okay.
I guess I'll go back. We've gone through everybody. I'll go back to the first guy. Let's see if I still have my bonus moves. Yep, I do.
Nice.
So that's really cool. If you go back to someone who you've invested in, you've not lost the stuff. Ouchie.
Very Sonic the Hedgehog type.
Yeah. I noticed that there's definitely a Robotnik enemy kind of feel. Although, of course, I'm pretty sure this predates Sonic by quite a bit. Or at least I assume so. Maybe not. This is the 16-bit era, so I'll have to do future made.
Yeah, it was probably after, I would say. I think Sonic was early 90s. This was probably, it seems more mid-90s, I think. But that's how it feels.
Whichever one of us edits this video, do some research and put in a little factoid there to see if this game was before or after Sonic.
For sure.
Yeah.
His animations,
really good,
awesome. Yeah,
really good cartoony animations. I just wish the sprites were cleaner.
Yeah, I think the blue on your, like, that guy, the shoulders guy or whatever, it's too, like, he's so blue, it's like he doesn't pop enough, like he needs more, you know what I mean? Something going on. Like, this red guy stands out the most, I think. Let's see. I don't think I can buy anything. No, it looks like it keeps ramping up though.
Whoa.
With the money for moves.
I like the wall-eyed baboon. That's pretty good.
Wow. I don't know. what's going on with that rat guy there. I couldn't even tell what all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was.
yeah. That's the part of the problem is that there's just a lack of cleanness. Like some things are, oh wow, your morphing guy seemed to be losing control of his shapeshifting or something. But that's because I'm not paying attention to the plot. Oh, there's like a glass or ice wall in front of us. Good old bonus screens. That's definitely a pre-rendered spike thing there. 3D model. Very nice job with it though. Nicely designed.
That was it. I thought
Yeah.
this was gonna be like a whole.
The beginning of a level.
Map, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad it's not.
Yeah, me too.
Was never a fan of that kind of stuff. Of being ground up, I mean, being turned into mincemeat. Was never a fan.
Oh, this one got some vertical scrolling going on a little bit.
Yep.
It does feel like somebody was making environments for a completely different game.
Yeah,
For
especially
some
this
of these.
one. Yeah.
And then they were like, well, no, we're canceling that project,
Yeah.
and
Let's
we're making zany.
Yeah. Recycle the art for the environments into this new game.
Right.
Yeah. Very nicely done. Too. Also, the use of texture and dither in this ground texture is fantastic.
Yep. It has a nice painterly feel
Yeah.
and gradient
Exactly.
from top to bottom. It's
Texture that's very much there and enriches the kind of world, but it's not fighting for your attention at all. But when you look at it, it's something nice to look at. And like, look at the nice contrast in texture and color between the ground, the plants, and then the trees. Whoever the environment artists were for this game, they did a great job. Even though, like
Yeah.
you said, it feels like it could have been made for a different game.
right. Yeah.
Like, it's not so off that it's like
No.
jarring, but I know what you mean. For like character designs and a plot this crazy, you would expect more crazy, cartoony styled, like really weirdly shaped, twisted trees that, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's
Weird
what,
big leaf
I would have,
cartoony,
yeah,
yeah.
I would have been tempted to do that kind of stuff for this, knowing the cast of characters and everything.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, on its own.
the quality
Yes.
of the rendering and texturing is,
Yeah.
yeah, and color usage is very good. The only thing, like I said, that I've seen that could be better as far as use of color in this game is they're using overly saturated colors in the shadows of gradients, which is a common mistake. Like, you know, like these characters here, their darkest colors are nearing tomato red, and they should be much
Right.
more muted. Where am I?
I appreciate this big red guy, like doing a full
Oh, the forearm
like really
guy?
slow sort of wrestling move on you.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he grabs you. It's pretty nice.
Oh, I got a nice multi-hit attack out of that.
Oh, I guess those are another food item. The sort of milkshake thing or
Yeah.
whatever. I didn't quite realize that because of the color of it. It was so
Yeah.
bright. But
Is that a bomb? Is that...
yeah, I thought maybe. But the straw is what gives it away, and I finally noticed the straw.
Yeah. One thing that is fun, and it's in a beat 'em up game, and you would think, oh, you're already doing plenty of button mashing, so it wouldn't be fun. But I always love it when, if you can get them into some kind of situation where your attack scores multiple hits, like a rotating uppercut where it's like grinding away points on the enemy you're hitting. If allowing the player to rapid fire and make it do more damage or score more hits while it's in that mode when you're getting the attack out, that's really gratifying to be able to rapid fire and really grind away at their hit points. I love.
Yeah.
It feels like some kind of exploitation of that baboon. Yeah, these lizard creatures too, I'm getting a real 3D pre-rendered vibe from them, even though I don't think they were made that way. Just the lack of
Yeah.
clarity, their heads are looking upward in a fish-like way, and there's so little contrast and rendering in the face that it's kind of hard to tell where the eyes are and stuff.
It's almost like they had, they probably had multiple artists, so
Yeah.
I think there were some, like maybe the smaller enemies were animated by a certain artist,
Yeah.
and then it was like the main characters and the villain, like some of the, that's what's weird. Like this guy, the shapeshifter,
Yeah.
he does these zany, crazy morphing animations.
Yeah.
And then you see a little bit of that more cartoony animated style with the main villain guy, and then some of the characters just lack that completely. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they don't really stretch and move or anything.
Right.
So
Well,
it feels
I think that's very specifically his power, like his futuristic power,
Mhm.
and every character, like another character, it's just the fact that they're riding an alien ostrich. So they, like in Battletoads, for example, all of the characters, when they do a super punch, their fist gets giant or their foot, and it's not supposed to be an actual ability, it's just their cartooning and animation style.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, that's his actual power. His power is he shapeshifts.
right. But I
Yeah.
want it to have a little bit of that
Yeah.
in all the other characters too.
Yeah,
I
because of
think
the
that's-
zaniness and the cartoon.
Yeah, that's
style,
where
yeah.
I'm like, I feel like it needed that, and
Yeah.
it's still like,
Yeah.
I still don't even understand this, but what are we doing? Why does he clone himself? Is there some?
You've clearly never run into a wall-eyed baboon. It's like
Like I wouldn't
because-
have expected this to be the fight where he's like creating a mirage
Yeah.
of himself. Or
well,
something.
because they see the world blurry, they can make the whole world see them as blurry. That's how that
Right.
works. I love that sound. Do you hear that? Boing, boing. I'll see if I can isolate that. If we, whoever's editing this, we need a louder version because the game volume is pretty low
yeah.
for the sake of being able to hear us talk. But that's a very funny, like I could just picture a voice actor in Japan going "Boing," or one of the programmers into a microphone. Great sounds. They really had fun making this game. That does allow the players to potentially inherit some of that fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's should have been titled just Anything Goes. And he has, what's that device on the back of that? Yeah.
Phallic jetpack. That's what that is.
Did he use that? I don't
remember him ever blasting up into the air, but frankly, some of this stuff is just like a blur of bright colors to my tired brain. That's hideous also, that color palette cycling on the characters while they were teleporting away. Like, that wasn't a hand-animated effect. That was just using the fact that games used, let's see. Right. I feel like I already own everything. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, like that teleporting in effect. That's just like randomly changing the color value of the color indexes for that character sprite
Right.
in an ugly way instead of like doing a cool hand-drawn animation. Pretty risque characters. Did you see their upper attire? There, look at that. There's even a
definitely.
pixel there that could be mistaken as a certain anatomical attribute.
I guess it being such tiny pixel art,
Yeah.
we're feeling more emboldened to get away with things like that, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Well, back in the day, obviously.
Yeah,
it was
It
way
was,
less.
it was the 90s,
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have expected to just see a highway.
Highway overpass.
like,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly. Regular cement dividers.
Right.
Absolutely. It's like, okay, we need to make another arcade game.
Yeah.
We've built up this environment art that we made for other games that we should really use.
That's what it is. It's all of the environments that were rejected
Yeah,
from all the
exactly.
other projects, and they just put them all together.
Well, the good news is they clearly weren't rejected for quality. It was just like,
Right.
oh, we don't need a highway overpass
Exactly.
level, it turns out. Like, well, we should save it and use it for something. Wow, there's a T shot and A shot for this character. Mind you, I'm not complaining, I'm just noticing.
Yeah. Bit gratuitous. I do like the different color scheme versions, though. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. Nice, easy use of simply making that sprite use one of the different 16 color sprite palettes, and you get some more visual variety. Another nice thing you could do, which is a trick they used on console games as well, and especially the 16-bit era, you can just make it use a different 16 color sprite palette, and you can change its behavior a little bit, so you would get not only the visual variety but gameplay variety out of the same graphics data, which back then was critically important because memory was very expensive back then for cartridge size, or even arcade boards. Like, they obviously had more memory to spend, but it was still a really big issue. They had to really be careful to fit the entire game down to a certain amount of megabytes or whatever, so that the production of each arcade board would not be prohibitively expensive and ruin their
Right.
profit margin. More cute voice acting. The high-pitched lizard men.
This looks like some kind of ancient boat. All of a sudden.
Yeah, again, yeah, definitely. You know, they had this leftover tile set from like the Dynasty Warriors game or something like that.
Yeah.
Warriors of Fate.
It feels very Warriors of Fate. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That electrocution effect really reminds me of Metro Siege and the taser effect that we made for it.
Cannon blast.
Yeah, again, like, look at those guys. They're just so muddy, so brightly colored but muddy at the same time. High
Yeah.
contrast but muddy.
Yeah, I think.
But that one's not. Or, you know, it's
Right.
the same color palette but much cleaner done.
Yeah, I think across the board, both cleanup and a little color balancing, palette tweaking, you know, could have done a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it, you know, a lot of these things affect your ability to appreciate the animation
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff, you know? Oh, that's nice. They've got a... got a pig we can eat.
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't appreciate the design of these guys because I can hardly, even like
Yeah.
focusing on them, I can hardly tell what the specific shapes are supposed to be.
Well, I mean, this guy's a motorcycle
Yeah.
robot. I guess it's a vehicle he's
Yeah.
riding. Motorcycle mech,
Yeah.
something.
Well,
rather-
he's almost too clean. He clashes with the rendering style of the rest of what's going on the screen.
Yeah.
Like big areas of solid color, right angles. Make sure you grab these coins before it's
Yeah, I
finished.
bet, you know,
A different
usually
artist.
in teams,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
they would work to their strengths. So anything more mechanical, they probably gave to one artist and that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So those things seem out of place too. They're so sharply contrasted.
Right.
That's one of the powerful attacks I bought that I keep forgetting to use. Another, like, this is almost the background out of Last Blade 2 on the Neo Geo. It's really nice.
Yeah, that scrolling there, subtle scrolling is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's like a ferry boat, I think, going under the bridge we're on. Very clever use of dual playfield.
That guy. This guy's a little slow.
Oh boy. Was that your bomb or this? And oh wow, it transformed
No,
into
I
some
didn't.
hideous thing.
I can't. What, so it's like a two-headed.
Can't
something.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does this super cartoony, like the mask, eyes bulging out, and when you hit it,
Right.
look at that, the tongue and the eyes, like the mask. And like
I
you said, the
really-
whole game wasn't doing that. You know what I
But
mean?
some
Like only the
characters, yeah.
shapeshifter, but then these creatures are like super zany.
Like I really want this plant guy though, since he's got, you know, roots for legs.
Yeah.
I really want him to be able to just like plant himself and do some things. I think
Yeah, that
that
would be
sort
cool.
of is the slam move, but I don't think he fully does it. Like there's
Right.
things like I don't know what's going on.
I think
with
that's
that,
just like
but,
he's thrashing around.
Yeah.
Like it's branches.
like see
and-
like when he does the
Yeah.
slam back and forth. I want them to just go in the ground like
Yeah.
the roots. That would be a neat
anchor himself so he can
Yeah.
throw everyone else around, even if they're heavier than him. That would be really cool. You can get this ramen bowl or whatever it is, because it's definitely what you expect to see in this zany, futuristic game show: is a traditional Japanese bridge and ramen bowl.
And this weird knight guy that doesn't. I don't know what's going on.
What, my cybernetic knight? Oh, this robot knight thing with the lance.
It's
yeah.
a robot knight riding a creature that may or may not also be cybernetic.
Yeah, and they're like
maybe.
snail horses or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one other nitpick about the end scene where it's scoring how much money you got. Those sacks of gold or treasure or whatever, when they're overlapping each other, just look like a mess. You can't even tell what it is.
Right.
It's just this tan mess. Alright, let's see. Is there anything worth me buying? Not enough money.
I'm not gonna buy anything for plant guy.
Alright, max health. That's the only thing I can buy. Why not? I'll waste my money on it.
I don't know the characters' names because I guess it doesn't really have them at the top, and I suppose maybe they're on the select screen, so you would know. what to call
Oh yeah, that's right. C blue, A green. That's not their names.
them. Yeah.
Arnold is the enemy I'm fighting, obviously named after Schwarzenegger because he's muscular.
Right.
That's a good enough reason.
I wonder if I'm assuming that this is one of those arcades that had like the different colored controllers. So you know, I'm the
Interesting.
green joystick and you're the blue joystick.
That makes sense. You are also a predominantly green character, and I am blue. That is weird. I
Mhm.
never even thought of that. Color coding the joysticks.
But you know, I thought maybe the characters are different colors, but
Yeah.
they're not because the shape-shifting guy
He's red.
doesn't have any green in him. So
And it still said green there?
I don't know. See,
Right.
I guess he's red probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but does it change and say red at that point?
Oh
Or
no,
are you right? Is it?
his says silver, so I
Oh
don't
wow.
I don't really understand.
Well,
that
he is
completely.
silver and red.
Yeah.
So, but how weird. They don't name
I-
the characters?
I think his name was like Captain Silver or something.
Oh, so they just have super
maybe that
generic
is their
names.
Yeah. and they
Captain
just-
Blue, Captain Silver.
Okay.
That,
That
for
makes
how
sense.
creative and zany everything else is, that's amazingly boring naming.
Yeah. It's Plastic Man or something.
I like the voice acting in this game. The coins are more important than you, lady.
Another incredibly generic environment. I mean, it looks fine, but it's like
Yeah.
almost identityless, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Crates and barrels. It's nice to know some things will never change no matter how far in the future you go.
Right, yep.
That and the fact that there will be traditional dishes like roast turkey and ramen bowls in your...
And they didn't mess around with like tiny crates. They did the full,
Big,
you know, yeah,
fit a whole
man-sized
big
crates.
human in the crate, yeah. I gotta say, I'm getting a little tired of this guy's vehicle we've seen many times, and this square walking robot. We've seen this before,
Yeah,
too.
it's the least interesting boss, I think, so far. As far as the way he looks, you know, or it looks, or whatever. The face is what bothers me about it. Like, it's got, like, it's just so flat and, like, looking
Yeah,
so
yeah.
straight, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
You should grab that health thing if you get a chance. Aw. Oh! That beam I got hit with makes me dance for a while, leaving me vulnerable. Compelled to dance. That's cute. Wind up toys of him. That's something an egomaniacal mastermind would do, is make drones that look like him. Cartoony.
he shoots missiles too now, apparently, so why not?
Oops. He's dazed. Is he beaten? Oh, let's get the coin while we can. Apparently.
Maybe.
Oh, nuclear green. I feel at home.
Green
Ooh,
floor
nice
that
melted cheese
isn't
pizza.
grass.
Right.
So, innovation.
Oh, weird. Look at this creature.
Oh, I
Right.
guess this is sort of, yeah, Egyptian thing
Yeah.
going on. Is this supposed to be like a kind of?
Like you said, definitely an Egyptian-y kind of theme to the
Yeah.
environment, anyway.
So now we know that why that first one was green, because they're doing different color floors here.
First one? Was it first which? Oh, the floor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The platform. Yep,
Now we're on
absolutely.
purple floor.
It's
I don't know
interesting
if
we're
that
on a
matters,
platform
but-
with no wall, but you can't seem to walk off or throw enemies off.
Right. I guess it's just it's kind of this game's version of the elevator level, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are. They're definitely going upward. Yeah, unfortunately, too early in the game, it looks like you can buy every new thing. So, if they had spread that out better or added a few more things, it would have helped keep things fresh.
Right.
The other issue, obviously, is they're not introducing new enemies lately with any relevant
Yeah.
new behavior. So it does become the typical, you know, past halfway through the game, it starts to feel really repetitive.
Yeah, I think maybe their thought was to give players a chance to buy the moves for all the characters or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't, you know,
Which, of course, means in order to do that, you have to die.
yeah.
Which, once you're good enough to make a lot of money, you might not be able to keep switching characters to buy things for everyone.
Yeah, if you were in an arcade putting quarters in this machine, you probably wouldn't want to switch characters. Or
Yeah,
you would be
exactly.
kind of upset
Yeah.
that you didn't get to keep your special moves for another character you selected or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't worry. You could. There's a special store menu. You just pause and you can put in another real quarter to buy one of the moves. Microtransactions back in the 16-bit arcade era.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that wasn't the case, but
And the thing is, like, you would know how many quarters you initially paid for,
Yeah.
but it was tough to keep track of how many you would really keep putting in a game
Yeah.
and playing to the end. You don't really know how much money you spent to beat it. And that was usually a factor of, that lent itself to that whole getting good at an arcade
Yeah.
mindset that was going on back then. Is you'd save money.
Oh,
getting
big
good at
time.
the game. So
yeah, imagine being able to go in there and like with one quarter each, blast through several games like Golden Axe and all that. I never certainly got to that point, but it was pretty frequent that I'd be able to go to an arcade,
right, yeah.
and it would cost quite a few quarters to practice enough to get that good. Whoa, what's this freaky weapon? An Extendo Serpent thingy. Trademark. Extendo Serpent.
Typical Egyptian boss.
That was a nice big effect when he teleported in from kinda inside the ground. There was a big
Right.
yellow splashy flash effect. He morphs his own butt, his gluteus maximus, into a chair for himself.
Right.
You don't see that every day. You gotta hand it
No.
to Zany, yes. Creative, also yes. I just noticed how the framing kind of reminds me like of old Windows UI.
Yeah. In fact, they
dialogue.
even have the little pluses and like
Yeah.
you see the little, but it's
Yep.
almost intention. It's just
It
an
is.
intentional thing. Yeah.
Yep. I love the purples in that tunnel there. Like the contrast with the orange is really nice. Yep. Whoever did the environments, even though he was working on a different game, his color use is excellent.
Right.
Was that the end? I feel like that was the end of the game, which feels weird. Caught
Was
me
it?
off guard. Oh, we'll see. Maybe not. We'll see. This sounds like a celebratory ending.
Oh, wait. there might
Maybe
be.
it was a trick. No.
Let's see.
The other thing that was interesting, did you notice? Like, it's kind of a game show and all that stuff, but they still worked into the plot, like, a threat to the end of the world if we don't go on a mission. So, zany game show futuristic, but the fate of the world is in your hands at the same time.
Yep.
I think that's it. I think this guy was based on Johnny Carson in this scene, the
Yeah.
host guy.
Yep. Well, there you go.
There's the game. Yeah, the end really caught me off guard. Like, it didn't feel end bossy at all.
Well, that is one thing I appreciate is that it didn't seem like any one level went on way too long.
Yeah,
like
that's very true, yeah.
the enemies would get a little repetitive, but they didn't do that whole make you marathon like all the bosses before the end of the game kind of thing.
Recycle, just steal your
Not as
tokens.
much,
Yeah,
yeah.
extend the time artificially, so to speak, and just try to get you to go through a few more quarters to finish the game.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, definitely, this game didn't feel like it was definitely too long, and I feel like if I were paying more attention to the gameplay and played a few times, I could get quite a bit of fun out of it. I do wish there was a little more complexity, and then again, this is the first time playing, so maybe there were some hidden gameplay mechanics that we don't know about, like some kind of block and counter type stuff, which, by the way, everyone, we do have in Metro Siege. But if not, also I wish, like I said, that there were a few more things you could buy like they did the unique moves you could buy, but even something as simple as letting you upgrade those things to like further spread it out and make it like, oh, you know, this way you can only hit one enemy at a time, but once you extend it, like it can hit two enemies at a time. All
Yeah,
of those kinds of things. Yeah.
The way it seemed like they did it was the same controlled moves for
Yeah.
each character and at the same tiers of money or something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's a concept that you could expand on a lot if you
Yeah.
really, put some thought into it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, well, that's the game though, and definitely not bad. Despite the gripes, like I said, like the level of some muddiness and stuff like that. It was a fun game, visually and audio-wise. It was certainly still AAA quality, just not like the best that Capcom ever offered. But
No.
but the other thing is, like I said, like I didn't give this game a chance for so long, and I thought it would be the game I liked the least. And gameplay-wise, it holds up. I think it's better than most of them, even some of the much better looking ones. Come to think of it, was Sengoku 3? No, that wasn't on this bundle at all. That was a Neo Geo game. Never mind. I'm tired. But yeah, like this has a lot more potential replay value than something like Final Fight. Just
Yeah.
because it's got more base moves, more complicated gameplay mechanic, and you can actually buy and add even more moves to your gameplay. And there's more characters to choose from, so if you die and stuff like that, you can be someone else. So
Yeah, and it looks like it allows you to be the same character too, I think, maybe.
oh, both players? Let's try that right
Yeah,
now.
we
Let's
were
find
we
out.
were both highlighted on the same character in the
Okay.
select screen, but I don't know.
Probably just the
if-
alternate colors. Yeah, let's try
Yeah.
it. Push start.
Yeah, let me intentionally die with my character or something.
Oh wait, I think we're off. Oh no, we are playing. Oh, the push start. It's because this is a up to four players at the same time game.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, it's probably going to take us too long to die, so maybe we
Right.
won't do
Yeah.
that.
On this. Yeah.
But-
Well, it's an interesting theory. Maybe if somebody does know, they can let us know in the comments.
Yep.
More about this game that we don't quite understand. Still, I found it surprisingly fun. Like it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's so zany that it was just interesting to see what the game offered as far as going all the way through content-wise. So yeah.
And there really was some great animation in here and overall good art. So yeah. All right, cool. Well, I guess that's it for this one. Thanks everyone very much for watching, and we'll be back sometime soon with another video.
If you enjoy our content and want to keep up to date on our games, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you want to support our projects, consider becoming a patron. The link's in the description, and we'll see you soon.